Here I am in our church's sacristy, and although many of us might not even come in here, this is a very sacred place because it is where such a dedicated group of people, they come and they work very, very hard preparing our space and also taking care of those wonderful vessels and things that we use in the Eucharist. And I like to call this a place of love because all of these faithful ministers do this in love and in their joy. And this is one of the ways that they serve God and they serve us. And it reminds me of when I was a child and I had to get up every morning to milk my cow, Macaroni, at 4:30 in the morning. Now, I don't know about you, but that is early in the morning. In fact, I think there's only 1 week of the year that it's light enough to even to see what you're doing. Otherwise, it's dark. And in the winter, it's even darker. And let me tell you, it is cold. So I can remember one winter morning going in with my cousin and getting ready to milk. And we had to take our gloves off. And by the time we started milking, guess what? Our hands were ice cold. But it was okay because the cow's udder was nice and warm. But what we forgot about is the cow, just like us, does not like cold hands being put on it early in the morning. And I can remember I was just grousing because it was really hard to milk. It just wasn't working right. And my uncle came in and saw what was going on, and he said, "Michael, let me tell you a little secret. Cows always know when it's time to be milked, but they give their milk more freely with a little kindness." And I'll always remember that. Kindness in our life is kind of like the oil that just really helps out with all of those creaks and just the friction of our life. As a matter of fact, there's a wonderful story about this man that went around the village and the town. And he carried an oil can. And whenever he heard the squeak of the hinges of a door or of the shutters, he would oil them. Or whenever he'd find the latch of a gate that was really hard to open, he would oil it. And so he spent his whole life walking around and oiling those latches and those hinges that were squeaky or just kind of stuck. And the people thought he was very eccentric. But you know what? Most of them really appreciated what he was doing because he was oiling so that the people that would come behind would find it easier. But the other thing they realized was he always walked around with that oil can. Can full of oil so that he could do it. In other words, he didn't see something that needed to be done and have to go home and then come back. It was always with him. He was always ready to do it. I think that's a lot what I experience in here, is that we're called upon also to carry that oil can. That oil can that contains that tenderness, that passion, that thoughtfulness. And I love Trinity Church because one of the images I'll always have is that we are a parish. We are a people that we always carry around our oil cans, don't we? They're always ready. As a matter of fact, our mission statement says that. We share the light of Christ. By what? By caring for each other and for the greater community.